Visit us on www.jollies.tm. Jollies Pharmacy, leading the way in healthcare. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to another episode of Jolly's Health Vibes, the health radio talk show program that always aims to bring you health education with a little humor and a little vibes. My name is Trudy, and happy to be on with you for yet another Wednesday. And joining me this morning is Leona. Leona, good morning to you.
Good morning, Trudy. Good morning indeed. I think I'm appreciating the rain a little bit.
Oh, you're appreciating the rain.
Definitely
Nice.
that.
Leona, you haven't been on with me for a while. I think Jacinfa has been on for the past, what,
Three.
3 weeks?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I should say welcome back to the studios of
Indeed,
Q95.
happy to be back. I've been out for a bit, and I feel like we kind of have a post. So I've been out pre incident. This is my first time on post incident.
Okay.
So definitely glad that we're still here. We're still getting the vibes. We're still on the station, and so it's good to be here.
Yes, of course. And Jolly's Pharmacy, pleased to always lead the way in healthcare and still leading the way in healthcare. We have lots of news for you. So we're going to get into some news. But I just want to say good morning to all our regular listeners of the program, the social media listeners, the people that tune in via the Facebook page or the YouTube channel of Q95 FM Radio. Good morning to you. I see you popping on already. Good morning, Hazelan. Good morning, Martina. Good morning to you guys popping on to Health Vibes. Good morning, Julie. And to the people who are listening on radio from their homes, from their vehicles, wherever you may be, and you're tuned in to Q95 and you're listening to Health Vibes, good morning to you. I continue to meet so many of you who tell me that you listen to the program on a Wednesday morning and you enjoy the program so much. So I want to thank you for always tuning in to Health Vibes, and I want to welcome you to another program this morning. But here at Jollies, Team Jollies, we have quite a bit to announce and to make sure that you, our listeners, are aware of. Definitely after the fire at the King George V Street branch, there have been many changes, and sometimes people need to be reminded what's happening when. So there was a big change that started on Monday, where the King George V Street wholesale branch of Jolly's Pharmacy is now incorporating a pharmaceutical counter, and also you can shop there for your favorite products as you were used to in the King George V Street branch. So this is a big announcement, and I saw quite a few people were happy to hear that on King George V Street now there is that shopping option for you. Now that doesn't mean that the wholesale use of that area has ended. Definitely not. So you can still shop at the wholesale branch there on King George V Street, the wholesale store, for all your usual brands that you were used to getting at the wholesale. So don't think that it means that you cannot shop there anymore. You can, but we are now offering at the wholesale facility a pharmaceutical counter, and you can get your pharmaceuticals. Leona, have you been to that area yet?
Well, actually, that's my branch.
Oh, that's your branch.
That's
Okay.
where I work. So
I thought you were switched.
I'm
Okay.
I'm a multi-branch girl. I'll say that. So for a while, I'll be at Mega, I'll be at Great George, but my main station is at King George. So I can tell the listening public that we had quite a time, getting everything ready, and
I can imagine.
Commend the staff for the great job that they did. Really, I tell you, I enter and I'm not even sure what was there before. And so you come in, definitely big transformation. It happened very swiftly, very timely, because we do know that the location is important to a lot of persons in terms of getting their meds and so on. And so the staff did a good job at turning everything around. So you can come in, you can get your retail shelves, like Trudy said. You can come to your pharmacy counter, get your medications, see all your regular pharmacists that were on King George Street and your pharmacy technicians. You can come to the back of the store and still come to the wholesale counter and get your wholesale items. And we are open for 1 hour later now to accommodate all the traffic.
I see that.
And so we'll be going from 7:30 a.m. in the morning all the way to 7 p.m. at night. Right? So definitely take the opportunity to start coming back to your branch. If that was your branch, we are open, we are ready to serve you.
Yes, so that's from from Monday to Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. So ideal for everybody who wants to shop early, who wants to shop late. And then on a Saturday from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. And then on a Sunday, that branch is closed. So we're talking about King George V Street, same street where the branch was that was impacted by the fire. There's a wholesale store just about 2 doors down from that area. And so you can now visit that store for your pharmacy needs as well as your wholesale needs as per usual, right? So changes, but all good as Jolly seeks to continue to give its customers the maximum number of options
Trudy,
for
before you continue, one thing I wanted to add as well. Due to the fire, we do have things that we're constantly working on. And so I want to remind the listening public that when you're coming into the pharmacy, and that goes for all of our pharmacies, due to some data that we having issues with, when you're coming into the pharmacy, work with your medical book so that we can see what your most recent medication list look like and we can verify your medications. Work with your medication boxes. If you had prescriptions, work with your medication boxes, and that's the most recent box. So you can also use that to verify your medications as well. And this will remain this way for the time being until we can fully verify everybody's current medication list. So I don't want to waste anyone's time, and so that we move smoothly when you're coming in, come in with those particulars, either your medication boxes or your medical book, so that we can process your medications for you. If you have a copy of your prescription, that also works as well.
Right. So we've been telling listeners that, but it's a good reminder that still obtains, that still applies, right? So when you come in, you need to bring those things. All right. Now there is the phone number for the wholesale store that we just spoke about on King George V Street. Some people have said that they want to be able to contact directly. So 616-3393, 616-3393. That's a number for customers who are trying to directly contact that store there on King George V Street. Okay, so 616-3393. And Leona, there's something coming up in April.
Yes.
And I think, we need to get our listeners already geared up. We've announced it once, but we'll continue to talk about the 5K run, the National Wellness 5K run. Jolly's does this annually, and it is, I shouldn't say back, it didn't leave, but it's on.
Right.
It's on. And the date is April 25th. So you need to mark your calendars, definitely for the 5K run. And as I always say on radio, if you cannot run, it's a 5K run, but you can also walk, so don't feel sort of discouraged if, you hear us saying 5K run. You can walk as well. And it's always for a good cause. This year, in support of persons with disabilities, and I got the cue from marketing that this year we are running. Or walking, if it's a walk, you can walk, for the Dominica Association of Persons with Disabilities and Circle of Friends. So these are the organizations that will benefit from the 5K run. And Leona, do you know the colors for this year?
Yes.
What colors?
We're using somewhat of a universal color, simply because when we're talking about disabilities, it's very broad. We have cognitive disabilities, we have physical disabilities, we have speech impairment, all of that. And so the colors that we are using are blue and yellow, and that will coincide with the normal disabilities logo that you would see in parking spots or even on ramps, and you see that wheelchair type.
In blue.
It's blue and yellow. So these are the colors in those shades that we will be working with this year.
Right. And why that's important is because, of course, for the National Wellness 5K run, we are not you're not going to get a t-shirt. So you need to get those colors and be ready to wear them if you're taking part in the run. The contribution that you give for this run, it goes towards the organizations that I just mentioned. So it's not for getting a t-shirt in that color, right? So it's important to put your blue and your yellow aside. Leona is already in blue. So if you're looking at us on the social media pages of Q95 FM, you'll see that Leona has already started gearing up for April 25th, and she is in blue. We have a guest that's in blue too, but we haven't announced the guest yet, right? We'll do that in a while, but we all ready for the 5K run April 25th. Get your contributions ready, and of course get your colors ready, and get ready to do something to support a very worthy cause.
Indeed. And those contributions go entirely to the charities.
Yes.
So we're hoping that from now up until that time, we can amass funds that will do good for these persons and for the charities that support them.
Yes, most definitely. So these are the announcements that we had. I said there's a lot going on. And of course, we do have a very interesting show lined up for you this morning. We have 2 guests in studio, and we will be announcing them. If you did not catch the flyer for the show and you don't know who the guests are, you've missed out, because one thing that is very outstanding about that flyer is everybody smiles. I'll leave that as the hint. We're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we'll be talking with our guests and we'll be introducing our topic. Stay tuned.
Jolly's Pharmacy. Jolly's Pharmacy is bringing vibes to health with Health Vibes. Health Vibes. Each and every Wednesday from 10 to 11:30 a.m. with your hosts Trudy Kristen and co-host pharmacists Jacinta Fagan and Leona Jeremiah. Education, information, and a bit of humor, and not forgetting lots of vibes. Jolly's Pharmacy is bringing health and vibes together with Health Vibes. So be sure to tune in each and every Wednesday on Q95 from 10 to 11:30 a.m. Jolly's Pharmacy, leading the way in healthcare.
End up in Jolly's Pharmacy. And don't you touch it, Jolly's system, my immune system. Me feeling fit and strong now. I'm ready to work any mission. If you see it again, Jolly's Pharmacy is number 1. Jolly's again. We cater for everyone. Jolly's again. So the immune system, Jolly's again. Yo, Dominic, it's about Father Box. Whenever I'm in town and I'm feeling down, I head to Jolly's Pharmacy. They boost me up real quick. Jolly's Pharmacy, leading the way in healthcare.
Introducing Jolly's Pharmacy, brand new website, www.jollys.gm. It's your time to jump the line. Shop now at jollys.gm and have your items delivered in the comfort of your office. No more standing in line. No need to use your lunch hour to shop. Hassle-free shopping, safe and secure. Jollys.gm features rush delivery, 1 hour. In-store pickup, regular delivery, 5 p.m. Cut-off time, 4 p.m. It's your time to jump the line. Use the line. www.jollys.gm. Jolly's Pharmacy, leading the way in healthcare.
Oh, and if they say convenience will make a big difference, then you can trust me. I know just where you should be. That is JP Mega. The one-stop shopping, Dominica, nigga. You could be shopping and having fun. If you got to give your son shop, it's to everyone. What a happy place. Oh, JP Mega. The one-stop shopping, Dominica, nigga. You could be shopping and having fun. It's to everyone. What a happy place. Oh, what a happy place. But just stick some more any item and you automatically qualify for discounts. Check us out at the mega store in Fongole where there's lots of parking. On Monday to Friday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. On Saturdays from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. And on Sundays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. JP Mega, the best family shopping experience.
Would you be missing the party this weekend because of that nagging cold and cough? Boost your body's immunity now by taking Feral Compound, a combination of vitamins and minerals to fight off coughs and cold, so you can be the life of the party again. Don't be restricted by those nagging coughs and cold. Take Feral today and enjoy the little joys of life. Feral Compound is for adults and children 14 years and older. Available at Jolly's Pharmacy and all our locations island-wide.
And we are back with you. And as I promised, we have an interesting show lined up, and we have guests who are joining us in studio this morning. Now, before the break, I said that if you caught the flyer for Health Vibes for this week, what, amongst other things like the topic, but what may have stood out was the smiles. Everybody on that flyer was smiling confidently too, I might say. Everybody was smiling. The guests were smiling. And this morning, because of the topic of the show and the guests who we plan to have, I made sure this morning made sure all my dental, practices were on point. I had to floss. I had to, you know what I mean? Because this morning we have dentists in the house. This week is this week there's Oral Health Day. March 20th, that's Friday. And so the dentists are in the house. Let's say good morning to our guests in studio, Dr. John and Dr. Hunter. Good morning to you all. Good morning. I'll allow you all to introduce yourselves. Both of you are not strangers to Health Vibes.
No.
Right.
All right. So, hi, good morning to everyone. My name is Dr. Tawaya Hunter, and I basically work underneath the Ministry of Health at the Rosas Dental Clinic. I would like to say happy Dental Week to everyone, especially to those workers, the nurses and dentists at the Rosas Dental Clinic.
All right, and good morning, everybody. My name is Dr. Shannon John. I would also like to echo my colleagues' sentiments, saying happy Dental Week to all my colleagues and friends, especially my staff at the St. George's Dental Clinic. I'm really excited to be here to share some information with you this morning.
Yes, and Leona, I don't know if you were on last year when we had the dentist. Yes, but anytime we start talking about oral health and we have our dentist on, you have to start to reflect on what you're doing, if you're doing it properly, because they always give such good guidance. And today is going to be no different. I know we started by saying that it's Oral Health Day on March 20th. I want to know for you all, I will start off with that question. What is priority in your practice? You're seeing patients all the time. What is something that you really always emphasize when dealing with your patients in terms of oral health?
The brushing.
Okay.
Because you see so many clients, they come, they tell you that, okay, I brush twice daily. I floss sometimes. However, you see many plaque in them, a lot of plaque, a lot of cavities, etc. And two, as well, a lot of persons do not know the right technique of brushing. So they brush all different ways, and the plaque is still in the teeth. And it's really a pressure on us, especially when we have to be doing the cleanings. So we always emphasize on good brushing, the different techniques, the use of fluoride toothpaste, and the floss as always.
Okay. All right.
Well, as for me, I always tell my patients, don't wait until you have pain to come and see me.
That's it. That's it.
Because a lot of the brushing is important as well. I notice a lot of patients have improved in their brushing after you speak to them once or twice.
That's true.
Might miss a 2 for 2, but the regular visit is very important. Sometimes brushing your teeth daily does not always prevent all cavities. I'll explain why I say that. There are some cavities that are hidden in between your teeth and are caused by other ailments. Acid reflux, for example, is one of those things. and you don't catch those things unless you come and see us regularly. If you take 2 years before you visit your dentist, when you have pain, by that time it's already too late. So I usually emphasize, don't wait until you have pain to come see your dentist.
I'm glad you said that because a lot of persons, when they're coming in, like you said, to the dental clinic and so on, is because we're starting to have pain that is unbearable. And it's not just pain, unbearable. Because most times you have a little pain and you hope it goes away without having to go into the dental chair. And I can tell you for one, I'm not sure what the term is, but I definitely had a dentist phobia. And I
think
know
it's a very common.
this is
phobia.
very common, especially you have children, but there are fully grown adults. I've had conversations with groups of fully grown adults who are afraid of going to the dentist. And in recent times, I went to the dentist and it was such a pleasing experience to the point where I'm prepared to go once or twice a year.
That's lovely.
You know, so I feel like sometimes the notion that we've had, or maybe even practices that were done long ago, that were more painful or less, it's better managed now. So what is something you would probably want to tell the listening public in terms of getting over, I guess,
That
the
fear.
fear part? Because I think that's what keeps persons from coming in when they have to just regularly check up.
Well, dentistry has changed over the years, Science has evolved, medicine has evolved significantly. So the things that put fear, and I would like to probably put the fear of God in some people when coming to the clinic, most of those techniques don't exist anymore. Just the needles we use, people are afraid of, those are significantly thinner, smaller, very easier to manage. We have different lengths of needles now. We always had different lengths, but we have even shorter ones now, specifically designed for children. There's so many different techniques that we learn over the years that can help patients feel more comfortable. And even personally, from my own practice, one of my priorities is making patients feel comfortable. So the moment you enter the clinic, so the time you sit on the chair, it's a conversation, make you feel at home. So it's a psychological thing. And dentists have, I think internationally, to have started picking up on those things and started prioritizing patient comfort even before we start to deal with patient care. So there's really not a lot to be afraid of, That's why we say come and see us before you get a toothache. Because there are times you have a toothache and there's nothing we can do. You understand? There's something called a hot tooth. That's when you have the real term is irreversible pulpitis. That's when bacteria enter the pulp and it's damaged the tooth so badly, it's so inflamed, not even anesthetic will get rid of the pain. And the patients, they come in and holding their face, doc, I need a solution. We have no choice but to do what we have to do. And sometimes it's painful. Please don't put that on us. Because we try our best, even when in those situations, we really try our best to make the patient comfortable. But if you make it a priority, just come and see for yourself. There is nothing to be afraid of, and keep your checkups regular. I think a lot of problems can be solved psychologically.
Early intervention.
Especially with the children, for sure.
As for the children, bring them to the clinics early.
And when we talk about regular, what is regular? How often should we be visiting our friendly dentist?
The suggested frequency is twice a year.
Twice a year.
So every 6
Okay.
months.
Every 6 months.
Okay.
There are cases where a dentist might recommend for you to come more often. Cases of periodontal disease, like Dr. Hunter was saying. Patients come for a lot of plaque sometimes. You may need more than one visit to get rid of everything and maintain a healthy level of plaque. This plaque is naturally forming in your mouth, but there are some patients like diabetics.
Diabetics.
Patients
Especially
have,
the medication that they take
especially
as well, that can
medication
cause
they
that as well.
So there are patients who usually have a lot more plaque than others for different reasons. Not get into too much of them right now, but we can recommend to you to come every 3 months, every 4 months. So you come 3 times a year, 4 times a year.
Okay.
So there are those instances, but Minimally twice a year.
Twice a
Twice a
year.
year.
Okay, and it is World Oral Health Day, March 20th. The theme I saw was
A
happy mouth is a happy
life.
life.
Mm.
Yeah, and the mouth entails, there's the teeth, there's the tongue, gums,
Yes.
but everything has to be, and what?
The palate.
And the palate. Oh,
Oh,
yeah, jeez.
the cheeks, all the cheeks,
Yes.
everything. The lips too as well. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's all a part of the mouth.
Wow, I didn't even remember all of
All of
those
that,
parts.
right?
Yes,
Yeah,
And I
that's-
think people often forget that your mouth is the beginning to digestion.
Right,
Uh-huh.
So,
exactly.
if you have extensive damage or pain, then that affects everything else,
Everything.
So,
But I wanted to ask, a happy mouth, a happy life. We spoke initially, Dr. Hunter, you mentioned what you would emphasize to your patients, the necessity of brushing, proper brushing technique. And so if we think of this as maybe one of the first steps to ensuring that happy mouth,
Right.
what are the proper techniques that someone should utilize when brushing? So can you give us, and I mean, it's something that I think maybe somebody will hear me asking that question and be like, like who don't know how
Who
to
don't
brush?
brush their
Who don't
teeth?
know how to brush their teeth? Like what kind of question is that? But I do know that it's something that some people don't know.
That's
So can we get from you, Dr. Hunter, what are the techniques that somebody should employ to make sure they're brushing correctly?
Well, what I've realized, especially working for a year and a half with the Russo Dental Clinic, is that a lot of the older generation, they seem to know a different way of brushing in terms of these circular motions.
Okay.
Now, at this moment, at the upper, the circular motions and then going through horizontal. Now, at this moment, dentistry has basically become evolved in terms of there are different more techniques that you can use just to help, especially with not only your teeth, but to keep your gums healthy too as well. So there's a technique that's called the Stillman technique, where you basically hold your toothbrush at a 45 degrees angle and you brush from the gum towards the teeth. So it basically removes the plaque of the teeth and also helps keep the gums very healthy, keeps the blood circulating, etc.
What's the name of the method?
It's called the Stillman technique.
Stillman technique.
Yes.
So 45 degree angle.
So you
now I'm trying to think of
so
my
you hold it at
maths
45 degrees. Remember 45 degrees angle. And
Mhm.
let's say we're doing the top.
Uh-huh.
And you brush from the gum towards down to the crown.
Okay.
When you're at the bottom, from the gum towards the crown.
Okay.
And always make sure that you go towards the side. Take some time brushing towards the side in the chewing, occlusal areas, inside as well too. And always make sure that you brush your tongue at the end of it.
And that one would be an up-down motion, or you
It's
still...
an up-down
Okay.
motion, yes.
Okay.
But you take your time though. It has to be a little bit smooth. Yeah. So it's not like you're rushing, brushing
Okay.
it. So you just take your time and you brush. Also too as well, the different types of toothbrushes. We always have to use a toothbrush that's more of a medium to soft bristle toothbrush. It's much better compared to this hard bristle that a lot of patients use these days. Because this hard bristle toothbrush, they normally destroy the gums and cause recession in the long time.
And that's something I learned.
Me too.
In my big old adulthood, because I would always buy smokers toothbrush. I've said this on the show before. I would always buy smokers toothbrushes because I felt like the harder the toothbrush, the cleaner my teeth would be. So I used to feel like those smokers toothbrushes were the best thing ever.
Oh, no, but it's causing more damage than ever. Trust me.
The logic is not wrong. I let it brush clean the teeth, bro. Your gums suffer.
It
That's
does,
nice.
yeah.
Your gums suffer.
I preferred hard toothbrushes as well, maybe up until college. Until again, knowledge and you learn. So a medium toothbrush is fine for me. But before, the hard toothbrushes were giving you such a firm brush.
Yes.
You would feel like your mouth is so clean, afterwards. But like Doctor said, you might notice your gum line going back a bit. So that's the recession, going back a bit. And more of your teeth becomes exposed. And then that would leave you prone to teeth falling out.
Yes,
earlier,
mobile
I believe.
teeth, the periodontal diseases.
Yes.
That's what happens from there.
We start to put a lot of pain to it.
Yes.
Okay.
A lot of sensitivity, especially in the neck of the teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Because the gums protect that part of your teeth. That's the protective layer. So you have two protective layers in your mouth. You have the enamel, you have your gums. The gums protect what's below the crown, and if that is exposed, there's just pure dentin, hot, cold, sugar, acid, everything is going to shock you, and it becomes very bothersome. Many patients say, "Oh, it will go away." until it doesn't. And then, but it becomes so serious that I've seen patients having to do root canals
Wow.
in cases like that.
Okay. Is there anything that can be done to reverse that?
There are certain periodontal procedures that can be done, surgical, as reversing it. But to treat it, usually what we do, we fill up the neck of the teeth, we cover that up with material like glass ionomer. It's safe on the dentin, it doesn't cause more pain, and it protects those layers. It releases fluoride as well in the area, so it helps to strengthen the enamel of that particular area in your teeth. So those are certain methods we use in modern dentistry now. It's more corrective.
Yes, it's more corrective.
Okay,
yes,
okay.
that's true.
While we're on the topic of brushing though, something a lot of people forget, we change our toothbrush every 3 months.
Yes.
So by right, you should use 4 toothbrushes per year. If Christmas comes and Christmas goes and using the same toothbrush, something is wrong. Right? At least every 3 months. You can stretch it sometimes to 4 months if your toothbrush is of a higher quality, but 3 months, please. Not just because of the wearing out of the bristles, but those toothbrushes hold a lot of bacteria as well. So just think of it that way, and put that in the back of your head. Every 3 months, try and change your toothbrush.
I think I actually do it more often.
I think so too. Because I'm more,
That's good.
I mean, I know Dr. John must have said this on a previous show, but I'm like 3 months. Like,
Yeah.
I swear, sometimes the bristles start going in all different directions before that 3 months.
Change it.
Yeah.
By the time the bristles start to
Even better.
open up,
Right.
Time to change.
it's time to change it. Well, obviously, some people have different brushing styles and they brush a little more. I know some people will brush 4 times a day. So someone who brushes 4 times a day versus someone who does twice a day, the toothbrush will wear out
Faster.
twice as fast.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, also too, we have to mention as well, in terms of the brushing, it's always good to brush your teeth 2 to 3 minutes. Because a lot of people, they rush outdoor, they just brush for maybe like 10 seconds and leave out of the house. Take your time, brush your teeth, brush towards the back, because a lot of plaque normally builds up towards the back area of your teeth. So there's a lot of mention in that.
I don't want to single anyone out, but I know I've seen men when they get up in the morning. And I have experience. Maybe not all, but I know one. I have experience, and they get up and it's a we can start at the same time, but we can finish at the same time too. But I'm pretty sure I probably brush each tooth. If I brushed each tooth once, he probably brushed each tooth 4 times. So
Oh my goodness.
I definitely know there are aggressive brushes.
I made a joke with a couple of students recently. I was telling them, you should brush your teeth for as long as your favorite song lasts.
Yes, yes.
And they laughed. I proved it to them. So I pulled out a video of some brushing techniques. It lasted about 2 minutes and a half, and put one of a song, the Booyah song right next to it. It was just a few seconds difference.
Yeah.
That's a good little time, time guideline. Think of a song.
Sing it in your head.
It helps very much with children as well.
Okay.
You raise them up like that, you train them, put on your teeth brushing song.
Mm-hmm.
This is your brushing song.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You let it play, and they're not allowed to leave that sync until that song is done.
It's done.
Yeah,
All right.
So that's a definite, something to take away in terms of, how do you time yourself with your brushing. Now, what about flossing, which always, dentists always say you need to floss, you need to floss, you need to floss. When are we supposed to be flossing? How frequently are we supposed to be flossing? If people have spaced out teeth, like, I once had, and I think I'm regaining those spaces, are they supposed to be flossing as often? I want to know about flossing.
You floss at least once a day, especially
Once
at
a
night.
day. Okay.
Especially nighttime before you go to bed. The technique with the flossing now, a lot of people have noticed they floss and jam that string onto their gums. It goes straight down.
Yeah.
But flossing is at an angle. You floss around the tooth. So you follow the curve of your tooth, each individual tooth. So that you fall below the gum line, you can pull up whatever plaque, whatever food is under there. And it's not a very quick and aggressive process either. because you can cause more damage than helping yourself with a wrong technique. So you floss daily with a curve technique following the line of the tooth, the curvature of the tooth. I wish I had a model. I keep forgetting to bring a model.
But you definitely have that opportunity on Thursday.
Well, tomorrow, come here outside Jolly's at the exhibition. I'll show you what I mean. So you follow the curvature of the tooth and pull up the food instead of pressing against your gums and fighting with your gums. If you notice, probably maybe the floss might stick between your teeth or come out shredded, probably it's time to visit your dentist. There might be some plaque stuck under it.
That's true.
Because leaving plaque below your gums is just as bad as cavities when it comes to tooth loss. I've seen just recently, last week, patients come to the clinic and they have shaky front teeth and they're very concerned now because it's their front tooth. And the request is, Doc, I don't want to lose the tooth. By that time, it's already too late. If the question is put to them, when last have you cleaned? Answer is usually probably never, or 5 years ago, or 4 years ago. That's why we keep emphasizing, do not wait till it's too late. Come and visit your dentist regularly. So along with all these practices, brushing, flossing, regular dental checkups, you will see a marked difference in your oral health and most probably your overall health as well. Because why happy, more happy life?
In persons like me, I have, my bottom teeth are pretty close together, so I'm probably the opposite of you, Trudy. So sometimes with the floss, you try to follow along, and when you're halfway trying to kind of little sawing motion to go for it, just squats and goes down and kind of cuts the gum there. So I've been looking into something of water flossers. So how do we feel about water flossers from a dentist's point of view?
I actually like them,
Me too, to be honest, especially when you have braces. It helps a million, to be honest.
The water floss doesn't always do the same job as the string floss. But in cases where you have very tight spaces, if you can get the water floss instead, it helps. That does not take away the necessity to visit your dentist.
No, but also too as well, have you ever tried the floss that has the wax on it? Because I know Jolly's Pharmacy normally has this floss with wax. These normally, it makes it much easier to actually go in between.
They're a bit
Just
flatter.
So you can try that too as well. That's another thing.
What about, I am, thinking of people who always used to have toothpicks. This toothpick practice.
Oh no, this is terrible.
Okay, so the dentist,
get rid of that.
Both dentists, their expressions just changed. All right, so we're saying toothpicks and those little picking of teeth, not a good practice.
Do not introduce foreign objects that are not recommended by dentists to your gums and teeth. That's one.
I know some people love to just chew a toothpick and hold on to it, kind of.
Because with the toothpicks, just like any other piece of wood, they leave splinters. That's one. They leave splinters below your gums. Introduces bacteria in there. Two. Think of where toothpicks are stored most of the time. Just
open,
random
table, or that it's sterile or packaged.
Doesn't even have to be sterile, but it has to be clean enough, Be conscious of these things. And also the thickness of a toothpick is usually larger than that we call interproximal spaces. The space between your teeth. The thickness of a toothpick is way larger most times than that space between your teeth. So you keep pushing something that is bigger than it's supposed to be, and then it's going to open up that space. The space stays open, and you create an even bigger problem. There's a home for plaque. There's a home for bacteria to flourish. There is a space for food to get trapped under there, and then you come back to square one.
Yeah, that's true.
One of our online listeners asked, or he said, if you can get an electric toothbrush, it's so much better than the regular toothbrush. How do we feel about electric toothbrushes?
They are very effective. It's also technique.
I feel as though if you do not know how to use electronic toothbrush as well, then it basically beats the purpose of it.
And I know there's different types, because there's the ones that just vibrate.
Right.
And then there's the ones that actually move in that
Moves,
circular
yeah.
motion. I prefer an electronic toothbrush myself right now.
Yes, they speed up the process.
It speeds it
One,
up, yes.
but
I
you,
don't know. To me,
you still have to use a
I
proper
would say,
technique.
yeah, that's what I believe too as well. Because I've seen children come to the clinic and they use the same electric toothbrush. And if you look at their mouth, they have a lot of cavities. If you do not know how to use electric toothbrush, it makes no sense to have it. So, in my opinion, if you want to start off with a toothbrush, you start with the manual, the regular
Okay.
toothbrush. That's what I believe.
And you learn the technique.
And you learn the technique. So once you master that, then go ahead with the electric toothbrush. That's what I believe.
The only thing the electric toothbrush does is, as I said, speed up the process.
Yes.
But you have to have the correct process.
Right.
Yeah, so you have to learn the basics first.
You must learn the
I've
basics.
seen people come with periodontal disease, gingivitis, serious case of gingivitis, and asking if it's because their electric toothbrush isn't working well. It's not usually the case. The electric toothbrush works as well as you use it.
I
So
like
you have to use it well.
Yeah, it's not the
That's
tool,
true.
it's
I like
the
that.
technique.
It's a technique. It's a technique. Yeah.
So I heard mention of people coming in with cavities, and I want to get into the prevention of
Yeah.
cavities. Particularly, we want to talk about children and what is best practice. I know, and you just mentioned it, that that's a common issue in terms of
Yes, it
oral
is.
health, dental caries.
It is.
So what is the advice, or what are the recommendations for parents and ensuring that they from early on can do preventative measures, take the correct actions for their children not to end up with
terms of
cavities.
cavities?
Yes.
All right. So we have already mentioned the brushing in that aspect. From ages 2 and under, we always advise the parents to at least use for their little toothbrush only a smear of toothpaste while brushing their child's teeth. And after the ages of 2 to 6, we always advise them to use just a pea-shaped amount of toothpaste, fluoride toothpaste on the toothbrush. Because it matters. It doesn't make sense to use too much when it's just only a little that's needed for the children. Also, too, as well, the parents need to note that even though a child is 6 years, 7 years, they still need assistance in brushing their teeth. Because a lot of children, they come to the clinic and they said that, yeah, I brush my teeth twice daily, but mommy doesn't help me brush my teeth because I'm a big boy.
Or a big girl.
Oh, a big girl. Sorry. Sorry. So, we always try to advise parents, okay, your child is not as of the age, let's say as 11, 12 years old, they still need supervision in terms of that. So proper brushing. Once you know the proper brushing techniques, that is all well and good. Another thing too as well, we try to advise the parents, the sugary snacks, acidic drinks, all these things so as well can cause cavities. Because a lot of children like conkers, like pizza, etc. And these things are not good for your teeth at the end of the day. You can take a little bit, yes, but not all the time, because even when they're at school, they give the snacks to the children and it stays on the teeth and it causes the cavity, etc. So, we advise into the proper eating, eating more fruits and veggies, carrots, give them a little apple to eat or something such. So that's also a good technique. In terms of the brushing too as well, before going on to the next one, it's advised as well when the child brushes their teeth, they should only spit out the toothpaste, but not rinse one time. And the reason why I say that and it's for all of us to be honest. The reason why I say that is because when you rinse out one time with water, it actually takes out some of the fluoride from the toothpaste that you're already applying to the teeth. So you could always wait around 10 to 30 minutes. I know sometimes we don't have the time, but after brushing teeth, just spit out and wait a little bit, and then you can rinse it a little later on. So that's always advice. A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of persons do not know that.
That's something that, in preparation for this show, that's something that I read that I never knew before. No, I know for the children, right? Most times they make their preparations in such a way that if they end up swallowing it, it's safe, it's okay, because it's often really hard to tell them what to do
That's true.
and to get them to do it that way. So essentially, if it stays in the mouth, fine. But as an adult,
Mhm.
I did not know you had to wait,
Yes.
especially like that length of time
Yes,
before
you-
rinsing out your mouth. That's something I did not practice. So
Mhm.
good information, because it's something typically new to me.
Yeah.
So what about mouthwash though? So if
Mhm.
it is
Mhm.
mouthwash, so if you use in mouthwash,
Mhm.
does that account for getting that
Mhm.
fluoride? Is mouthwash, does mouthwash contain fluoride most times?
Some of them do.
Some of them do.
Yes.
Okay.
Somebody says fluoride enriched.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you use
But the
it,
better ones to use are those with no alcohol in it.
No alcohol.
Yes.
okay. So if you brush in
Mhm.
and then you gargling mouthwash after you brush.
No, but you still need to wait. That's
still
the thing.
need to
Yeah,
wait.
just wait a little bit, the 10 to 15 minutes, and then use the mouthwash at another time. Because you need to give the toothpaste a chance to work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and something
Oh,
else. Is there a right way to do mouthwash? Is it before you brush or after? It does it matter?
After you brush.
Okay, because I had somebody swearing to me you have to do the mouthwash first and then brush your teeth. So
It's
it's
a tricky stuff.
Yeah, he's
It's
tricky,
very
but
tricky subject.
mouth. All right, so if you on the topic of mouthwash, I just stay before a moment. Most mouth rinses, how they work is they prevent plaque formation for a little while, right? If you happen to use the mouthwash and then you brush off the effects of that mouthwash,
Yeah.
it's really ineffective. But there are certain mouth rinses that are just antiseptic. Can use it before or after, doesn't really make a major difference. But I know, okay, for example, like chlorhexidine and Cosodil,
These are medicated mouthwash.
these are medicated mouthwashes. Those are, you don't want to use it before you brush because
Yeah.
No.
it'll be a waste because the chlorhexidine in there is what causes plaque. It stops formation of plaque, sorry,
Okay.
for up to 12 hours. So use that after you brush. Okay. As for the
Regular.
don't spit, don't rinse, just spit toothpaste. I'm a rinser.
Ah,
I personally am a rinser. I've read this, I've read the articles, I've seen the studies, I've
But you
done
just
some
do it to
research.
rinse off.
Yeah, I've done some research on it.
Well, that's your choice.
And everybody's, well, in that case, that's where I think we can have a little leeway.
Okay.
There's no big difference in oral health if you rinse out your toothpaste.
Because
It might make a difference, for sure.
It might make a
It
difference.
will
Yeah,
make a
man, you
difference.
want
There's science that proves it. It makes a difference.
Exactly.
because I sitting here, I'm listening to you all, and I'm like, hey, I never knew about waiting before, like not rinsing.
Try it out for a month and let's see how
No,
it
but I
goes.
was about to say, but here am I at a big ripe age, which I will not disclose on Q95. And I've never had a cavity. I've never had an issue. I'm like, well, I
That's awesome.
must have been doing something right.
Yeah.
But and I also, the mouthwash thing is also kind of interesting because I always use that, and after I brush
After
as
you
well.
brush.
So I always felt like, okay, that takes care of that, and I move on. So it's just interesting, and I understand too that there would be differences
Yeah, they are different.
in opinion on
in
best
terms of using
in
the
terms of
mouthwash
that.
as well, yes.
Mhm.
Because some dentists don't really believe in using mouthwash, at times.
Ah,
because it says
Types, yeah.
Yeah, certain types.
Okay.
Because they say that it destroys a lot of the bacteria that's in your mouth.
okay, the good bacteria.
Mhm.
Okay,
Things like
Okay.
peroxide,
Yeah.
those that come with alcohol.
the alcohol
yeah.
one. Okay,
Yeah, you avoid those. And
Yeah.
alcohol doesn't. Is the name alcohol is not usually on the bottle, but you need to look out for ethanol.
Ethanol.
On the ingredients
Normally
at
it's
the
no
back
alcohol.
there.
Pardon?
It normally says no
And
alcohol.
some say no alcohol.
no alcohol. Okay, all right, but
But even
let's
so, there's still traces.
Really?
Yeah.
let's get back to our children.
Yes.
We were giving guidelines for parents, and we started. Dr. Hunter, you gave the outline in terms of brushing and supervision of that, and the use of the toothpaste. How much? What's next? The food, the diet.
The diet,
You gave some
yes.
good guidelines in terms of dietary practices, which will help to prevent cavities.
Mhm.
What else should parents be looking out for, specifically as it relates to oral health? Anything else? Any
Yeah,
other
man.
practice?
Yes, there's a lot. There are other preventative practices that we can use. Regular cleanings,
Yes.
Okay.
and fluoride treatment when the children come to get their cleanings, which has been concerning to me over the past few years, especially from the government clinic when I did my internship, and even further past that. I'm not sure about you, Dr. Hunter, but I'm not happy with the number of children attending the clinics, the public clinics especially, for preventative treatment.
Yes, I agree.
Most times you
not
see
enough.
children come for cavities or extraction,
Yeah, that's true.
and the numbers show. I brought a few numbers to share with you all.
Yes. Before you share those stats, let's just take a call. I know people have been trying to call in. And the caller, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning to your panel.
Hi,
Good morning.
Morning.
I have a daughter who keeps telling me, Daddy, don't use the hard bristles, only soft. I don't know if you covered that yet.
Yes,
we did,
yes.
yes.
Yes, we did. Soft to medium, right?
Okay.
Dentist,
soft to
yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
You're welcome.
So for that caller, and I guess for those who did not hear that part, the reasoning behind that was to protect the gums.
Yeah.
So the harder the bristles, the more gum damage or gum recession you might experience. So we did target the type of toothbrush you should use. But yes, Dr. John, you were about to give some statistics coming out of clinic.
Yeah, the public clinic. So I borrowed some numbers from the dental department, and from 2021 to now, I think last year was probably the best year. So in 2021, 1,554 children visited the clinic, and 290 of them were for cleanings. So you hear any numbers, right? 1,900 in 2022, 396 were for cleanings. In 2023, 1,972 came, and 644 were for cleanings.
That's better.
That was better. 2024, 596 out of 1,843. So those numbers started to improve after a while. Last year, it was way better. 1,095 came in for cleanings out of 1,800.
Oh, wow.
I was here, that's why.
So Dr. Hunter attributes that to her presence. And I won't dispute that because she's very good at her job. But 4 years prior, I'm pretty sure that trend existed, even before 2021, where children came to the clinic not just for cleanings, or the parents probably did not prioritize bringing them in. For a number of reasons. We're not going to get into those right now. But I feel like if we saw it as important, if preventative care took precedence in our mind as much as restorative care did, as in you come immediately to get a filling done, or you come immediately when you have a toothache. But the urgency is not so high when it comes to just get your regular checkup. If that were to change, I think our children will be a little happier and healthier already, dental-wise. So my call would be that. I mean, parents, let's try and prioritize bringing your children to the clinics. In the government clinic, it's free. Below 18 years, you don't pay a dime for any treatment. We have to wait. Yes, there's a waiting time. But there are holiday seasons where children can come in. There's Easter, there's summer, there's Christmas, which is what I usually encourage anyway. So let's prioritize the health of these children. This year's theme reflects on dental health at every age, right? But it starts somewhere, and you have to start with the children. It's very important to make sure they have those healthy practices as they grow older. And I just I'm remembering now a trio of young men I saw when I did my internship a couple of years ago. And 3 of them became on their own to do their cleanings, and they waited the entire morning. They were on their own. I think it was 17 and 18, but they had supervision. Boys from town. And I was told that their mothers brought them every year during the summer. They kept up that habit on their own.
On their own.
And that's 3 young men, and you know what you have to say about young men already.
Yeah.
Those were 3 young men who made it their priority to come on their own. Nobody had to tell them. They came together as friends because that's how they grew up. So it warmed my heart, and I still remember that up to this day. And I would like for us to start back those practices again.
And that's your face card too, eh? Your teeth is
is
right
immediately.
at the front there. And right now, especially in the youth, we're getting more aesthetic conscious, I would say. And so these are things that you can do. There are avenues for that. So there's private practice, there is the dental clinics by the ministry, and so you can find a way to get yourself checked, get yourself cleaned, get yourself looked after. One of the things you mentioned in terms of children, and I'll go back to that, I know that there are different stages when it comes to the amount of fluoride that children need. And sometimes I know persons who come in, and I know it's easy and it seems more economical to just pick up, an adult brand of toothpaste and use that for the entire family. But what is, or maybe we can enlighten the public on the importance of using a toothpaste that is for your child's age.
Okay, well, correct. So that's a nice question. Well, a lot of toothpaste for children, they come branded by age. So you have 0 to 3, you have I think baby step. They have different brands. I can't remember the brands now, but some of them come branded by age because of the concentration of fluoride in there. You have the 0 to 3 years that deal with the baby teeth primarily. They're not as spicy as some children call it. They're very soft, on their gums. And as they grow older, where a little more fluoride might be needed, you can start introducing another level of toothpaste, also branded by age. And then as an adult, obviously you can handle the rest of the harsher ingredients like peppermint and so on. But there is a very important age group between 4 or 5 years up to the age of 12 in children, where they're changing from primary dentition into secondary dentition, baby teeth to adult teeth. When those permanent teeth start to erupt, they are very susceptible to cavities and gum disease. And that's why it's important to have fluoride introduced in their lives, especially around that time. Apart from just toothpaste, when we do cleans, we give children fluoride treatment. So it's a paste mix of fluoride, xylitol, vitamin B complex. There are a bunch of different things in that commercialized paste that are included in the children's cleaning procedures. And we like to prioritize those things. So you're not just asking the child to come and clean, but that's part of the treatment as well.
Okay.
So that fluoride paste is left on the teeth for about 5 minutes after cleaning. And that exposure for that 5 minutes is just enough to take them for a few months. Okay? So it helps to strengthen the enamel of those newly erupted teeth and help them to last way longer than probably children who are not treated the same way.
Okay.
Now, I'm a product of that system. I got my cleanings every year, sometimes twice a year. I have my fluoride treatment in my mouth for about 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes at a time until they remember me. But you notice differences between the children who grew up with those treatments, with that priority in the household versus those who did not. There are marked differences.
I have a question about that though. I remember, back in my day, prehistoric, at school, they would come in from the public health system and give students fluoride treatment. So I always remember in my primary school days at Convent Prep, we get a little thing to gargle a little for yes. And is that a practice that's done? And if not, why was that? What is the thinking?
I know that yes, that did exist. I've heard that question many times. I think that's when Colgate Palmolive used to sponsor a lot of the government clinics around the world.
Okay.
So when that sponsorship
kind of diminished,
I'm not sure why. When they left, there were no replacement. So the fluoride that used to be brought to school, the toothbrushes and the packages brought to schools. Those are from donors and benefactors and major sponsors.
Okay.
Those things have since changed. a lot of, I guess, worldly politics involved too. I don't want to get into those things too much, but there are other big pushers and movers in the world who think fluoride is not good for you.
Right, that was my next
So
question.
that's another thing that kind of got the world shifting in a different direction.
Okay.
Not sure if that is what happened here.
Okay.
But if we're speculating and trying to figure it out, probably that's somewhere we
Could
can start
be a
investigating.
reason.
But I know at that time, there were a lot of donors who contributed to the public health system in Dominica. So the children benefited from that.
Okay. Yeah.
And as you mentioned, the fluoride, so like you said, there's a big global conspiracy. I'm not sure if it's called a conspiracy, but a big global issue where there's the left who swear by fluoride and talk about its benefits, and you're on a team. And then there's the right to the point where we have fluoride-free products and fluoride-free toothpaste and fluoride-free mouthwash, because then we're hearing on the other side of things that it's detrimental and not beneficial. So what is the basis of that?
Well, the people who, the right wing, as you call them, that group of people belong to societies who have control over media. And where those people come from, the first world countries. Mostly. In those countries, they've had history of fluoridating their waters. That led to direct consumption of fluorine. That led now to higher levels of fluorosis and fluoride poisoning. And I don't want to say that has nothing to do with us, but I'm pretty sure that's where it came from.
Okay.
So the direct ingestion of
Fluoride is the
from the
problem.
fluorinated water.
It's more of a concentration
Yes.
thing.
Your
Okay.
body is not designed to absorb fluoride ions.
Okay.
The fluoride is only for your teeth. So what fluoride does is it strengthens the crystals of the enamel. So enamel is made out of these crystals called hydroxyapatite crystals. It's like, right. So it's a very inorganic material. Your body cannot produce fluoride, but it is the hardest substance in the body.
Yes.
We cannot make fluoride ourselves. What has been noticed over the decades, demineralization of enamel leading to cavities became very prevalent. So I guess scientists found a way to strengthen enamel. We found that fluoride replaced the hydroxyl group of the hydroxyapatite crystal and made it fluoroapatite, which is an even stronger material again. So by replacing one ion with the other, you have a strong material that's harder to break.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you remember in prehistoric times that you said Colgate used to come with these ads on TV where they would brush a shell with fluoridated toothpaste.
And then we get really
They
white.
brush a shell with regular toothpaste or whatever over a month, and then they crack one shell, the shell brush with fluoridated toothpaste, that shell wouldn't break. You see the other shell, it will crack after a month. So that's how fluoride works. It strengthens that outer layer of your teeth. So but with everything, the benefits must outweigh
The risk.
the risk. And I haven't seen it. Somebody can bring it to me, but I haven't seen documents stating that brushing with fluoride is detrimental to your health. Most of the documents I've read suggest that consumption
Of fluoride.
is detrimental.
Okay.
So like most things, anything in excess is not.
Yeah,
You have
and
to
it-
have
it's
stuff in moderation, in the
Exactly.
amounts that you need it and where you need it. So like you say, oral ingestion is not what it's meant for. So that's where the misconception might come in.
You know, even just lecture, just consumption of fluoride is dangerous.
Right.
And because children can accidentally consume fluoride, that became part of the problem as well. But now they have toothpaste designed for children.
The much lower. So if they
amounts,
manage to
okay.
swallow, it will not be as detrimental. Makes sense now. So full circle.
And fun fact, if somehow a child happens to ingest fluoride, a glass of milk helps.
Milk.
Okay.
Yeah.
The calcium levels
Calcium
in that.
from the milk.
Okay.
Okay. Let us talk a little bit about the tongue. I know at the start you all mentioned the palate and the cheeks. Always, I did not even consider when prepping what we should focus on. But I know the tongue raises concern for a lot of people in terms of how should it be cleaned, what should be used to clean the tongue, what is best. There are products out there that are, specifically designed for cleaning the tongue or specifically marketed for tongue cleaning. Is that necessary? So I want you all's view as dentists on cleaning the tongue. What's best, and how should people go about that?
Well, the regular toothbrush normally works very well in terms of brushing the tongue. You brush from the back and you go towards the front in swift movements. Also, too, as well, I see that they sell a tongue scrubber. That's what they call it. Yes. And I've heard that it works very well. I believe that it takes around 75% of the bacteria that's on the tongue. So you normally just have to do it the same way from the back towards the front. And every time you wet it, just to make sure that it's clean. Yeah, you rinse it out.
Always rinse it out after.
Yeah.
Sanitize. If you can let it soak in with the same mouthwash and the peroxide or something for a little while. Yeah, but tongue scrapers are very effective.
They work well, yes. And it helps prevent like halitosis and stuff like that.
What about if the color of the tongue? If people are saying, if someone says they do brush their tongue or they do clean their tongue, but their tongue is often white, or there's still a lot of what looks like deposit on the tongue. What could be going on here, or what is there any link to some other possible medical issue in that regard?
Well, yeah, the tongue is a very good indicator of what a systemic disease is. A white tongue is not really a fully white, not white. White infused of pink, underlying pink. Probably means you might need a tongue scraper. You need to brush more often. Could also have a lot to do with your hydration. Could have a lot to do with your diet, the kind of food that you eat. If you consume a lot of starch, usually deposits in those tiny pores of your tongue. It's very hard to get a fully pink tongue and maintain it forever.
Yes, that's true.
But it is possible. Has a lot to do with hygiene and the bacterial level in your mouth. Sometimes has a lot to do with the toothpaste you use. Let's say, I know other people like whitening toothpaste. The chemicals in whitening toothpaste, how they often work is they also fight helpful bacteria in your mouth. So they get rid of bacteria, stain-causing bacteria, but they also get rid of some of the healthy bacteria in your mouth. So there's usually no an imbalance on your tongue, because the tongue is a home for bacteria. That's what it is. It's an ecosystem. There's a whole forest living on your tongue that you cannot see. So if a certain level of germs become higher than the other, then you can observe some change in color over some time. If that is accompanied by bad breath or halitosis, as Dr. Hunter mentioned, maybe visit your dentist, get a cleaning done, buy yourself a tongue scraper, your tongue scraper every night or every time you brush. If the change of color is accompanied by halitosis and pain, run to your dentist and ask some questions, the change of size. So that's where you start getting into systemic diseases. When you have certain changes. But the white tongue is usually very fixable.
Okay.
What I would say though, if you notice a fully white tongue or other white patches in other areas in your mouth, then at that point we might be dealing with fungus or yeast, or what we call thrush. So that is also another reason to check with your dentist or your doctor at that point.
The white patches they'll be perfectly circular with elevated edges, but there are other white patches to be aware of it. There are stuff like leukoplakia, early signs of oral cancer. So these are not all white patches are just fungus. So, and not all white patches are just bacteria. So if there's something that concerns you, visit your dentist. We keep saying, no, wait until it's too late, until you start to have pain or you start to have some kind of discomfort. Go and ask a question. If you can't come to us at the private clinic, the government clinic is there available every day. Visit a dentist. We have enough dentists that can answer questions across the clock. Yeah, around the island, around the clock. The dentists are available to you. So these are the things that we would like to let people know too.
Just quickly, and before I allow you all to also share some information about the activities for this week, I know something is coming up tomorrow. But Dr. John, you just mentioned oral cancer. What type of prevalence do we see in terms of oral cancers? Is it a pressing issue, in your opinion, or is it not so prevalent?
Actually, it's not prevalent in Dominica. That could also be because people are not coming into the clinic to check up.
That's true.
But from just generally, patients that we see regularly, prevalence is not that high as compared to other countries in Latin America, especially. Here in the Caribbean, I think we've adapted over the years to the things that can lead to oral cancer. So extreme hot, excess use of spicy foods and condiments, tobacco use combined with alcohol use. We have our habits, but is for some reason, I don't know, Black people may be just blessed. But the same risk factors that lead to oral cancer in countries like Mexico and Paraguay and Ecuador, we have them here.
And we don't see that high.
But we don't see the same
incidence.
High incidence. And oral cancer is not something that you can hide forever. Believe me, if you have it and it's affecting you, you will know. Your glands start to get swollen and very sore. Your tongue is always elevated. There's always some mass going under here. Ulcers that don't go away in all different parts of your mouth. Now, don't be frightened. Some people get ulcers in your mouth. There are stress ulcers. There are ulcers from other diseases.
Like mucosa,
but we're talking about those and do not go away. If you have one of those, come and check your dentist. But with the risk factors that we have as a race, thankfully we don't see the same prevalence of oral cancer as we know of in other countries. Every dentist should include a check, an exam, an oral cancer exam for their clients at least once a year. It's something we just usually do. When you clean,
you can do that.
You see, you notice, you take note, you ask questions like, has anything changed? You feel anything under here? Most times patients tell you, I feel a little bump here, I feel this thing swollen, and you start to eradicate reasons for that affectation. So there are different ways of avoiding it as well. But I still say, thank God that we as a people in Dominica, we don't suffer too much from it. We have had cases, we've had cases over the years.
Yeah, very few though.
But very
Not
few.
very prevalent.
Not negligible, but very few.
Okay. All right. So we are at the end of our time, and I did want to discuss something else, but we don't have the time to do it. So I guess I need to have an open invitation out at this time to Dr. John and Dr. Hunter to come back to Health Vibes, even when it's not Oral Health Day.
Whenever you're ready.
Yes, because there's a whole topic that we didn't get to. However, I do want to allow you all to give us some information, give our listeners some information about this week and any activities that are planned for Oral Health Day on Friday, or I know there's something on Thursday, Jolly's Pharmacy, a collaboration there. So let us know what we can look out for this week.
Okay. With the exhibition. There'll be any exhibition tomorrow?
No, that's the
Okay,
thing.
well.
I have to go to the Maho primary school. So the dentists, a lot of dentists have to be going to different schools.
Okay.
So for example, tomorrow I have to be going to the Maho primary school, and some of the other dentists will be going to the Tetmon, other schools around the island, just to basically educate them on the right techniques of brushing and oral health care. Tomorrow as well too, we have that sidewalk exhibition, which I believe is with Dr. Louis and yourself.
Yeah. So yearly there's the Thursday Overall Health Week is an exhibition outside Jolly's Pharmacy. It's always in partnership with Jolly's Pharmacy. So we say thank you.
Thank
once
you.
again, as always, for coming on board to promote oral health in that way. So the Thursday of that week is there's always an exhibition during the morning. And I think we'll be on King George IV Street, the old location of Great George Street.
We'll be on Great George Street, so that's the one change that we have this year. So we'll be on Great George Street outside of that pharmacy. And I know that Dr. John and his team usually come fully equipped, so he'll have his tooth displays and his models to show you all how to floss. And we'll also be displaying some products that can aid you in terms of all the things we discussed today that you would need for proper oral health care. And the exhibition will start from 11 a.m. outside of the Great George Street Pharmacy. So feel free to pass by. Feel free to come and get some education. Come and find out what products will be best for you and the rest of your family as well.
Okay, just quickly, please. It's in collaboration with the Ministry of Health Dental team.
Yes.
Okay. So not Dr. John and his team.
Definitely. Dr. John, I believe here is representing both sides of things. However, it's the Ministry of Health. So we have the Ministry of Health as well as St. George's Dental Clinic and Jolly's Pharmacy. And that's, like we say, a yearly collaboration that we always prioritize oral health in that way. So come through, get to know some of your dentists so that you feel a bit less cautious about going to them in the chair. So come and know them as people and talk to them as people. Find out what you need to do and what you need to have for proper oral care.
One more thing from St. George's Dental Clinic, not to cut you off, please, but Friday afternoon is dedicated to the children. So we're asking parents to bring their children, just quick checkup. If there are any necessary treatment that need to be done. Walk-ins from 2 o'clock on Friday afternoon. So the staff there will take care of your kids. Just bring them. Let's see how many we can see in an afternoon. And if any follow-up appointments, we schedule accordingly. So that will be our contribution to World Oral Health Day this year.
And for us, before you continue, Shuri, the staff of the Roseau Dental Clinic will be going to Castle Bruce and do a walkout, where we basically will be introducing ourselves to the different clients, etc. Anyone's walking by and just educating persons. So that's where we'll be on Friday.
Okay.
On Friday, Castle Bruce. So look out for us there.
Castle Bruce. Dr. John, give the location, please, of St. George's Dental Clinic.
St. George's Dental Clinic is located on 4 Castle Street. That's around the corner of AC Shillingford in town. Castle Street is that road leading up to Domlek, opposite Macmillan gas station. It's directly opposite the Pitchy Savannah bus stop and
next to
bread shop, next to Jammies. Yes. Okay. Many points of reference you can find. That's where we are.
Okay, and that is Friday at 2 p.m. and parents are invited to bring their children to get their dental check. And Dr. Hunter, location of the Roseau Dental Health Service currently, because there have been changes.
Yes, we have changed. So we are actually located on the Bath Road. Okay. Basically where Campbell's, I don't know if you all remember where Campbell's used to be, at the bottom, downstairs of Campbell's. That's where we are at the moment, next to Brandsmark. So that's our area.
And any specific days for specific things, or you can just...
No, it's from Monday to Friday. Everyone can come. There's no specific day in terms of children or adults.
Okay.
So everyone can come from Monday to Friday. Although we do check prisoners on Tuesday, so it's a little limited amount to the public. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
So all the information is out there. I want to, and as it relates to the children, the offering for parents to bring in their children at St. George's Dental Clinic on Friday, I want to just echo the sentiments of Dr. John earlier as it relates to proper health behavior modeling. Parents, you have that role that you should model proper behavior. So having the children have those checks, that ensures that they model that in their future, and that will result in better, health outcomes, oral health, and in other aspects of health as well. We talk about that all the time. What people learn as children is what they tend to practice when they grow up. So I want to thank the doctors, the dentists in the house today, Dr. John and Dr. Hunter, for giving us their time and allowing us to, get some good information as it relates to oral health and what we should and should not do. And there's so much more that we could talk about. But as I said, open invitation for another show. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Yes,
Shirley
thank you for
and
having
Leona.
us. And
Thank you.
Leona.
You're welcome,
Bye.
and thank you for accepting the invitation to come and talk to us as well.
Oh, for sure.
Yes, and of course to remind our listeners, as we started off by saying, Jolly's is pleased to have functionality at the King George V Street wholesale department. You can get your pharmaceuticals there now, but also your wholesale stuff as well. And the 5K wellness run April 25th. Leona said that you can start registering on Monday. Yes?
Monday at all our locations.
All locations. So you can start registering for that 5K run. That will be on April 25th for persons with disabilities this year. So it is the end of Health Vibes. Thank you so much to our listeners for joining us for another program. And we look forward to coming back on next week, Wednesday, with another program, another Health Vibes, where health education meets vibes. And until then, we will wish you a very good week, a healthy week. Make sure you're brushing, make sure you're flossing, make sure you're doing all what the dentists say to do. And we will be back again, God willing, next week for another program. Do have a good day. Take care.
You too.
All right.
Thank you.
Jolly's Pharmacy is bringing vibes to health with Health Vibes. Health Vibes. Each and every Wednesday from 10 to 11:30 a.m. with your host,